Okay, hey, what's up all my icy friends? I am the Dragon God of Gaming, Damian Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of the WWE Weekly Round Up, where we look at everything that happens on Monday Night Raw, WWE SmackDown Live, and WWE NXT. Now, what's going to happen in this one is, going forward, me, 2 and Chaos, we sat down and we started discussing a little bit of what's been going on lately, and we've come to the conclusion that there's too much going on Raw, SmackDown, and Raw and SmackDown themselves. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm not gonna go through all the promos and everything, and like the backstage segments and bullcrap that doesn't lead to very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly brief down some of the matches and stuff. But I'm going to leave NXT completely alone because NXT is only an hour and it's fine. So everyone caught up? Good. Let's get on with it. With the start with Raw. Now, with Extreme Rules very close, which is actually this coming Sunday. Holy crap. We had to have the Universal Championship and the Raw Women's Championship clustered together because life. So to start off with Raw, we had Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Andrade and Zelina Vega. The match overall was really good. It's mostly started off with Seth Rollins and Andrade. Obviously, Rollins was taking many shots at Andrade, and just, over and over again. Obviously, when the women got in, Zelina isn't fully an in-ring competitor, even though she's being trained by her boyfriend, Aleister Black, which is one of my favorite superstars on the roster. Oh, sweet lord. But after all that being said, Andrade knocked Becky Lynch off right into the barricade, which causes distraction. But after through the whole thing, Seth Rollins prevailed, fought through it, and stomped Andrade's head straight into the mat for the 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins defeated Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas by submission and pinfall, respectively. But what I didn't say was that Zelina Vega got caught with the disarmer and tapped out. So this was an elimination match. I forgot about this one, but afterwards, obviously, Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans came out and attacked Seth Rollins and Lynch. So, well, at least we had a clean end to a match. At least a decent end to a match. So the match was really good. I suggest you guys go watch that as well. Alright, I'm not going to go over this. As I said, I'm not going to go over so many promos, but this one is for the Money in the Bank. So Paul Heyman came out and he spoiled, basically tell everyone that Brock Lesnar will be at Extreme Rules this coming Sunday. So we could have a cash-in, or we might not have a cash-in. Who the heck knows? So we might have that. It wasn't that really good of a promo. Alright, next up, we have the Usos and Miz versus the Revival and Elias. 2 out of 3 falls. They really are hammering it home that they loved 2 out of 3 falls. Actually, no, well, before we have this, I do need to see, because I need to see, do we even have an Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules? Do we actually have an Extreme Rules match? Okay, so let's see. Obviously, winner takes all match. Okay, so the winner takes all match is an Extreme Rules match. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. There's a no-hold-barred match between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. A last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. A 2-on-1 handicap match between Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Are you serious? There's barely an Extreme Rules match. I can understand that there's a tag team match versus an Extreme Rules match. This hurts my soul, man. I'm sorry, you are not bashing the crap out of The Undertaker with steel chairs at his age. I'm sorry, no holds barred match is more looking than like, basically speaking, being thrown through a table, being hit with a chair probably once or twice, and then someone being pinned. Well, Shane McMahon's in the match, so let's hope he dies. Sorry, Shane, but good lord, you've just been a twat. Other than that, it's really nothing. What's extreme about this Extreme Rules? You could have made Ricochet versus AJ Styles like that. At least. No, Aleister Black and Cesaro, you guys not gonna make that an Extreme Rules match? Come on, you guys look for a fight. At least make that a street fight. Come on. My stomach hurts, man. This is not an Extreme Rules match. This is not an Extreme Rules at all. Like, come on now. Anyway, let me get back to the action. This was basically a horrendous match, basically. The Usos and The Miz basically were the standouts. I can understand that, like, Elias still has a lot of seasoning to be before he's, like, okay, properly ready. The Revival were pretty good, but it's like, good lord. But after the hot tag, The Miz he went after Scott Dawson, hit him with Skull Crusher finale, and then Jey Uso got tagged in. Then he hit the Uso splash for the 1, 2, 3. But the whole thing, I'm not gonna run down the 2, 3 falls because this match wasn't even a lot to write home about. They kind of took everything out of 2 out of 3 falls match. It's like you're gonna want a 2 out of 3 falls match. You feel like you're on survival mode. This whole thing is survival mode, and for the last like 2, 3 weeks, all we've had was multiple 2 out of 3 falls matches that's not even needed for these matches. They're just shoehorning it in because it's another match type. It's a little bit upsetting that you're just killing off 2 out of 3 falls matches for stuff that nobody cares about. So, like, why are these 2 teams feuding? I can understand the Usos and the Revival are feuding. Why is everything else? Why is The Miz in this? Why is Elias in this? Why are these 2 teams? Next. Next. Rey Mysterio versus Bobby Lashley. Let's just basically say this. This was a one-sided beatdown. You had the legendary Rey Mysterio being brought back. It's just come back, and he gets wrecked by Bobby Lashley. Basically speaking, Lashley won within a minute. He hit him with a spear in less than a minute, pinned him, and that's basically about it. It's nothing to write home about. Basically, he threatened to throw Rey Mysterio through a Titantron. The referees came out trying to stop it. He tossed it into like the crowd of officials, and basically says he is going to be the last man standing. Like, couldn't we put someone else on this? Like a local competitor? We had to sacrifice Rey Mysterio for this? Okay. It's probably like one really, really bad one for this, so let's hope. Cesaro versus No Way Jose. This was basically No Way Jose's revenge after the vicious assault last week from Cesaro. No Way Jose came out very much swinging. He came out like, a man to pick, and obviously he's not being given anything, so obviously he's he's relegated to a jobber. But after a vicious uppercut, it didn't go very long afterwards. Right after that, he hit the neutralizer and then he swung him into a sharpshooter for the submission win over No Hey Jose. This match wasn't that bad. It's telling a story, and it's telling how it's basically letting everyone get more into like the character of Cesaro, and that's exactly what this is. It wasn't a one-sided beating. Obviously, you gave No Way Jose a little bit of a chance, get some offense in. At least it didn't make him look completely weak, and that's what matches need to be. So this is actually something really good, and I kind of feel much more better about this. And they're trying to really build up Cesaro since Sheamus isn't much here right now. I actually seen Sheamus training with Tommaso Ciampa, so that's actually really cool. But anyway, the match was really good. Can't say nothing about it. Okay, next up, the Viking Raiders versus Colin and Devin Justin. So these are local competitors. Expect what happened. Basically, it was an assault. That's all that was. It was an assault. Basically, it was just carnage until a pinfall. And then afterwards, the Viking Raiders were, crowded around because wrestlers were running after the 24/7 champion, which was Drake Maverick. Dude, I am sorry for your wife. You couldn't even consummate the marriage, man. How can you not? Are you even married at that point? I kind of feel bad for Drake Maverick after everything. I've actually been following him on social media, and I've just been seeing the bull crap he's been going through and all. My God. He treats his wife so poorly. It seems like Charles Manson in a relationship with the nicest woman in the world. That's upsetting. Other than that, a lot of the competitors that's running after Drake Maverick got in the ring and got destroyed by the Viking Raiders. And then R-Truth came in. Basically, the Viking Raiders looked at him like I look at tacos, like they wanted to eat him alive, and he got out the ring. So, yeah, nothing to write home about, but it was funny. Next up, we got basically two matches in one. We got Ricochet versus Luke Gallows and Ricochet versus Carl Anderson. Basically, what this boils down to is obviously the ending. And what the ending entailed was AJ Styles attacking Ricochet again. How many times do you need to be attacked before you realize, hey, let me carry something on me? That's what I don't get. But anyway, Ricochet did pin Luke Gallows, and he did pin Carl Anderson. Luke Gallows got a lot of offense in early on. Obviously, he's a very big guy. You can't just take him down. But Ricochet caught him with a small package for a surprise 3 count, put him down. But AJ Styles also challenged Ricochet to fight Carl Anderson as well. So, through it all, obviously, it ended with a 630 slash that ended Carl Anderson. And yeah, afterwards, Styles decided to just hit the Styles Clash and the Phenomenal Forearm. So, shoot. The match was actually really good. Anyway, next match, because I need to get on a little bit on with this. Bayley versus Sarah Logan, and Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke, a beat the clock challenge. Now, why are we having the beat the clock challenge? Anyway, Sarah Logan lost to Bayley, which managed to set a time for 4 minutes 32 seconds via sunset flip powerbomb to pin Sarah Logan for the 1-2-3, setting everything at 4 minutes and 32 seconds for the time to beat for Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross managed to hit the swinging neckbreaker and pin Dana Brooke for the 1, 2, 3. So Nikki Cross did beat the clock. I believe she beat it within 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Then Nikki Cross demanded her to come in and face to face. So Nikki Cross demanded that she gets some sense smacked into her by by Alexa, and that she's such a good friend. And then Bayley lost it and smacked the crap out of her, which in turn Nikki Cross came at her, Bayley to belly, planted Nikki Cross. So that's what led up to the 2-on-1 handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But I don't understand why we're not. It wasn't even really good the first time when we were looking at Michelle McCool and Layla. We don't need it. Anyway, last up, Roman Reigns and Gary Garbutt versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Obviously, you guys know I don't talk about Shane McMahon. But the funny thing was, who was Gary Garbutt was Cedric Alexander. The ending came more along the lines when Roman Reigns ran into Garbutt, which forced a tag. Jinder went off and showed off very athletic abilities. But again, it's always a 2-on-1. He took a Claymore to the face, but he took off the mask and it was Cedric Alexander, which was very funny. But this match wasn't really fucking good, and that's my one per video. It's just I can't talk about Shane McMahon very much anymore. Okay, but that was Raw. Time to turn into SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over some highlights from over here. Alright, next, Kevin Owens drops a pipe bomb, basically calling out Shane McMahon, telling us that the very idea of Shane McMahon calling himself the best in the world is insult to absolutely everyone who has ever gotten to the ring. Basically saying how much disgusted that at Vince McMahon and the fact that his family showed up promising changes, and to all the fans, and all they got was Shane. Shane McMahon showed up, cut the microphone on Kevin Owens, and obviously he went after another microphone, and then he addressed the audience again. He name dropped Buddy Murphy, Kairi Sane, Asuka, Apollo Crews, and Mustafa Ali. Basically running down the list of superstars that Shane robbed of television time. This was beautiful, and I loved it. And Kevin Owens tossed the microphone, and he went to the crowd after Shane McMahon ordered that security came out to get it. And thank you, Kevin Owens, because that needed to be said. I hate seeing Shane McMahon every single week. I hate it. Like, he should not be in the main event status where he is now. Like, we don't want it. Like, again, this off named Buddy Murphy. Where the hell is he? The man puts on, like, A-caliber matches consistently. Where is he? Then we got Kairi Sane, Asuka, like, the Kabuki Warriors that were promised to us by Paige, and they don't even get any screen time. Apollo Crews, that is forced now to go to NXT now. He's going to NXT to fight, I believe he's fighting somebody next week. I believe Kushida. So that's going to be beautiful. And Mustafa Ali, where the hell is he? We don't get to see him. So yeah, Kevin Owens got a point. Next up, Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Should be a really good match. And it was. With Rusev not very much there. It was basically a really good match. It shows how good Nakamura is at being a striker. It shows how athletic Finn Balor is. This is what we wanted to see. Like, these men can go, but they're just put in the mid-card because, you know, they're not Roman Reigns. Or they're not Brock Lesnar. Or they're not John Cena. But, the end of the match, had Shinsuke Nakamura run over Finn Balor multiple times, 3 times, with Kinshasa. And that set up for basically the end for Finn Balor, putting him away, which sets up a match at Extreme Rules, which I talked about during the Raw segment. And that's going to happen on the pre-show. Thanks, Vince. But Nakamura beat Balor, and that that was actually an awesome match. I loved that match. So I would suggest go checking that out. Alright, next up. We got contract signing for Extreme Rules. No, this was one I'm not going to do. It's just a contract signing. It ends in torment. And basically, everything ended in Carmella's music played to usher the next match in. It really wasn't that good to begin with. Carmella versus Nikki Cross came out. Basically, this whole match was basically Nikki Cross trying to pander at, Bayley at the opposite end, out the opposite side of the ring. It really didn't have very much aforementioned, detail to it. It's just a basically knockoff match that just highlights, hey, this is a contender. Basically. For so many super kicks that Carmella sent at Nikki Cross, Nikki Cross blocked it. Cross then turned it into the Fisherman Neckbreaker, putting Carmella away for the 1, 2, 3. Nikki Cross beats Carmella. But the whole thing is, it's some of these throwaway matches. I know this sets up for, Extreme Rules, but anyway, this was nothing to write home about. Next up, the Tag Team Summit, Heavy Machinery, New Day, and Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to go through this, just know that basically all of them are in a match at Extreme Rules. So, there we go. Otis Dozovich versus Xavier Woods versus Daniel Bryan. Now, obviously, there's two speedy characters, and Daniel Bryan and Xavier Woods versus the very, very, very big guy. Yeah. It was a pretty good match. Obviously, Daniel Bryan's in it. Obviously, it's gonna be, semi-decent, at least. You can expect that out of Daniel Bryan's matches. It's a semi-decent match. Xavier Woods is pretty good as well, obviously, but sometimes he can kind of lose it a bit. Otis is like the newest guy on there, but he showed himself to be a real good guy in the ring. Like, obviously, he doesn't really, do singles matches very often, and that's actually what is good. It's like, you're not a singles wrestler, but you're there. Otis returned to the ring and basically flattened the crap out of Xavier Woods with a splash to end off the New Day member and score the victory. So, Otis Dozovich beat Daniel Bryan and Xavier Woods. So, this basically shows off that, these guys can still hang too. They're going to be really good. So, let's see what they got on Sunday. So, I'll say watch this match too. It's actually really fun. Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler. What can be said? Power versus pure athleticism. And, it wasn't disappointing. Basically, the whole match was basically saying, who is going to come out and attack Roman Reigns? First, it was Elias, then it was Drew McIntyre, and Shane McMahon. Like, they were all attacking Roman Reigns. And, obviously, he fought back, dropping Elias with a Superman punch. And, basically, he was almost there to score a victory. Shane McMahon interfered again. It's nothing to write home about. Kevin Owens entered into the match and laid out Shane McMahon for basically, cutting him off all night long. So, yeah. Then moments later, Reigns hit the spear on Dolph Ziggler to win. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns defeated Dolph Ziggler to close out the show. Again, we do not need a cluster in the main event. Just have a decisive winner. You need to tell a story, but tell a story after the clean match. Jeez. Anyway. Now we're moving on from SmackDown to NXT. So let's go down. We're going to run down it pretty quickly. First off, Io Shirai addresses the NXT Universe. She didn't really say very much coming off of her heel turn, attacking Candice LeRae from the Steel Cage match I believe, last week? Becky said she's all clad in black. She doesn't have her normal red get-up no more. She said, basically a soulless version of her music. Basically, she said, I don't need any friends, and I don't need any of you. And she walked backstage. Short, sweet, and to the point, and it's very powerful. Like, she turned on everyone and basically said, I don't need any friends, and I don't need any of you. And made a point and left. You see, now that's how some people should feel themselves. This is actually not a bad start to the show. Next up, a breakout tournament. Jordan Miles, aka ACH, versus Boa. Now, Boa is a Chinese practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which hits me on a spiritual level because I'm formally I'm a blue belt. I've studied more afterwards, so I haven't got my other belts. But otherwise, I can understand Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Some of that wasn't Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is more along the lines of, it's more focused to get your opponent on the ground. He was more trying to use them to strike. Strikes is very heavily handed in MMA, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is also, hand-to-hand with submission grappling as well. And I didn't see none of that. So, I guess he was trying to ground ACH, but he wasn't going to. This is the kind of match I like. Obviously, it was... For someone that practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, obviously you're going to want to slow down the match a little bit. And, you want to highlight some of that. You want to highlight some of the kicks and some of the punches that you're going to throw. Dude mostly used kicks. This was kind of like the weakest match in the tournament so far that I've seen. Like we got Shane Strickland and Trevor Lee, and then we had DJZ and who was it? It's gonna bother me. It was DJZ and someone else, but the whole thing was this was like kind of the weakest match of the breakout tournament. But the winner was ACH after a massive 450 splash that had a detailed showmanship, which was funny to me. He did like a baller thing off the top, and then he went for the 450, and then he played like a little Deadpool thing where he puts his hand under his chin and with his feet crossed up. It was just so funny, and ACH is such a showman. If you've seen any of his matches on the Indies, go check out some of his matches on the Indies because it's borderline funny and some of the most athletic matches you can find. So go check those out. But the match ended with that, and I kind of feel like, dude, if you're training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I guess take a couple more classes. I kind of feel bad for that one because I couldn't even call that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anyway, let's keep on going out. Next up, Damian Priest versus a local competitor called Blanco Loco. Oh no, man. Basically this match was short, sweet, and to the point. The only thing that Blanco Loco ever did to Damian Priest was hit him once. It was an assault. Turned the man inside out. He had a modified Trouble in Paradise, and Priest finished him with like a modified version of the Crossroads. So this was basically an assault. I can't call that a match. That was an assault. Okay, next up, and next, last, and not least in this show, the Street Profits versus Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. This was high grade. This was high grade. You know, obviously you have a powerhouse in Angelo Dawkins, and you have like two British strong style competitors in Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. It's gonna be hard hitting. Obviously, Montez Ford brought a lot of, like, you know, the high-flying, you know, aerial assaults to it. But what happened in the later match, it looked like they were very close. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch hit a dropkick suplex combo for the 1-2, very, very close on Montez Ford. Then Dawkins came in. And Montez Ford got, you know, into the groove. Dawkins hit very hard with the, I believe a modified, like, you know, strong arm spine buster down and a, frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. The match was absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to sum it up because obviously I'm not going to be here for an hour to detail the entire match. But it's just like, good lord. Hello? Why did my door open? That's weird. That's spooky. That's creepy. Anyway, that was it for the WWE Weekly Round Up. I hope everyone enjoyed. This was a lot of fun. Hope everyone enjoys. Come back Monday where I detail the Extreme Rules 2019 WWE Extreme Rules. I'm hoping it's better than the last one we did. Oh, well, oh my god. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed. But, good gaming, happy hunting, and I'll see all you Dragon Leagues back inside the world of WWE. I hope you guys enjoyed today, and I'll see you guys next time for some more Gaming Dragon action. My head is somewhere else. I just see my door fly open, and now I'm gonna see who the hell opened my door. Or if anyone opened my door. If not, then I'm finding a way out my freaking house. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.